Good morning everyone. Today I will be helping you get started into a brand new MMO experience. Starting in an MMO can be a very intimidating thing because it's a big world with lots to do, but hopefully my guide will help you get through it without too much of an issue. So, let's begin. For guiding you through these steps, I will be using Guild Wars 2 as an example. The first thing you want to do when you get started is create your first character. This is generally with a handy button like right down here in the lower right hand corner. You click create, and this begins the character selection process. For the character selection process, it's fairly straightforward. You just follow the steps the game provides you. You do want to be very careful during this process because this will be your character for the rest of the game. So whatever this character looks like, that's what you're going to be looking at for the entire time you're playing this game. So you want to make sure you're happy with your character. Most games have lots of detailed options for creating characters, such as specific kinds of faces and skin color, or even going into as much tiny details as the angle of the eyes, the size of the iris for the eyes. So customize your character to your heart's content. Once you're done with that, lots of games end there. Some will go on to more character role-playing aspects, but those tend to not have as big of an impact. So once you're done with that and you finish going through all the rest of the steps, you go ahead and name your character and you are ready to go. Once you finish your character creation process and you started playing the game, every game will take you into some form of a tutorial. In Guild Wars, they use these pop-ups that you can see in the upper left-hand corner, which give you small details, like, for example, this one tells you to move, and how to move. And generally just clicking on them will get rid of them if you don't want to see them. Guild Wars also uses a bit of a tutorial zone. It's a very low-level area that's easy to play in with very little real threats. And they continue to give you small details like how to move your camera around as you continue through. Most games use this process where you play through a small mission that tells you the basics of how to play, and as you play longer, you begin to learn more specific details about more complicated things. Now that you've completed the tutorial zone, you are now in the game. This is no longer an area designed just to teach you how to play the game. This is the game itself. So, you know the basics of the game, you know how to play. Right now, you could go out and play the game all you want. From here, I'm just going to give you a couple useful tips. The first tip I have to give is configure your controls. This is done by going into the Games menu, going to Options, and then finding the Control options. This will take some playing around with if you're not used to playing online games, especially not computer games. So work around with it, see what's comfortable, and once you find what's comfortable, set the control settings to that, because you're going to be living with those settings for the rest of the time in this game, so you want to make sure you're comfortable with it. The next thing is be friendly in the world. If you're just bored, just talk to people. You know, put out a message in a general chat and see who responds. Be careful about any information you do give out, but having friends is a good thing in these games. It's always more fun to play with people than without people. These are a list of people that's either people I know in real life and they started playing with me, or people I've met in game. But having that list of friends makes it a lot more enjoyable because there's always someone for me to play with. The next thing you need to do is take your time when you're learning the game. You know the basics, but you don't know everything. And think of it like a class in school that you actually enjoy. You don't go into it expecting to know everything, but by the time you finish you expect to know everything. So, just take your time. Know that you're not going to know everything right off the bat, and just learn as you go. The last thing I have to say is manage your time while playing the game. In these games, well, I'm sure all of you have heard the World of Warcraft jokes about how people who play the game have no life. That is a real thing that can happen. It's very easy to get caught up in games like this and forget about your real life. So make sure you set aside time to go and see your friends in person, or to go hang spend time with your family, do homework, sleep and eat, you know, important things. Just make sure that your virtual life doesn't become your real life. That's it. From here, you are ready to get started in any MMO.